kidnapped. Like, you know what I mean?
I used to have that same mentality. I used to be like, oh, well, that can't happen to me. And then people have attempted several times. It happened to my cousin. My cousin got kidnapped. And just like, I don't know. Just be careful. That's it.
No, like I think I saw like this ideal thing. I can't remember what it was named, but it was something like how rich people are the ones like that keep the power. It's like a cycle, kind of like that.
But there is rich black people that go to jail too.
Yeah, but they get minimal time.
Do they have the connections to keep them out of jail? Like that?
Because those connections are usually not in their best interests of black people.
Everybody's understanding. Because when I was in y'all room, y'all was going in. Like, we could have did a podcast, literally. Everybody was, having a conversation and elaborated well. So when we're doing presentations, just make sure we're bringing out that same energy.
Some of our solutions to some of our Budweiser moments here are surrounding yourself with positive people and people who support you so that you are not caught up in that negative stigma. Inform people that healing is part of surviving, so it's not all about getting through the rough, it's about making sure you're physically able and mentally able to get through the stuff you're going through.
That's the thing, the way how our generations are growing up, they're thinking that all of this is a norm. For example, violence is a norm, death is a norm, holding a gun, carrying a gun, selling drugs is a norm. So we can't just only think of it as they being racial profiling and stuff like that towards us. We must also accept the fact that we are doing something wrong and we need to be the change.
Welcome, guys. Thank you guys for taking the time out to come together as a family here on this virtual communication. I know everybody's just still adjusting to this whole social distancing thing. So welcome to our youth podcast, Social Distancing Party on Zoom.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Raising Your Voices Behind the Scenes. Again, we've had to do virtually for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and we had to go virtual. So we've been doing our podcast via Zoom. We're here now getting set up, getting everything together, sending over the rolling agenda and getting the emails lined up because we have a big episode tomorrow featuring Mr. Robert Albury, who's the Director of Programs over at the Collective Impact Forum. So again, man, we're just gearing up, the work doesn't stop. We continue on, and stay tuned.
Well,
What gives you hope?
something that gives me hope is that no matter what I may be going through, I'm always able to help somebody in some way or another. Just give them a pep talk or be there to listen to them if they have a problem. Just do something to help somebody one day at a time.
The question is, how does your agency establish connections that are proactive rather than reactive to build prevention strategies?
Okay, so I'm going to give an example of one of the projects we have that intersects and it's going to work with child fatality. COVID threw us all for a loop because we were just going to be right there on the street with everybody. But there's a project we have called Project Hope, and the acronym is Helping Our People Everywhere. And that program employs what we call community advocates. So they're people straight out of the communities who are trained, then they go into their communities and make contacts with people, raise awareness, do education.
Christopher McDavid, and I'm also a member of the HCTC. My question is mainly directed towards Mr. Larson, but anyone can answer. Does it make sense to pass a law that strips away the authority of officers once they are being tried for criminal acts? And if so, do explain your answer.
Absolutely, yes. And I think it's a good idea. And on a related note, as I said earlier, another big problem is when an officer is fired from one agency, maybe for the use of excessive force, but then picks up and moves to another jurisdiction, where they apply for work with a new agency, often that hasn't followed the officer. And frankly, this is how people have manipulated the process.
If you could say where our society ought to begin to truly address systemic racism, where would you start?
I feel like we're in a current climate right now that is a good start. This is the first time, I mean, y'all are in the middle of some serious history, right? Never before, ever in life has there been a global civil rights movement.
So I feel like even that, as a parent, that's your job, to start preparing your youth to know that they don't need the most newest Jordans, get the next year, get the most expensive things right now, get the chains. I see someone saying no. Let me know what you think.
No. I was agreeing with you, most definitely. I think that mostly comes from what they see on social media, because they see a black person as an athlete or a rapper, so they think that they have to be like, LL Cool J or something. So basically, that all stems down to what they're being taught inside of the media and what they see, because the only thing we see black people as are rappers and athletes. So, yeah.
What supports are there to families who are in short supply of materials that they need, or to guardians who are just or to newly appointed guardians to children?
So we have a couple of ways you can get support from the department. If you're talking about tangible support, like money, resources, those kinds of things, we have, if a child is to the point where the child needs to be removed from a parent and placed with someone else, we actually fund those placements. We can license relatives and give them, financial support and those kinds of things.
A role that I have is also self-care, and my goal was to get close to my mentor, so I'm doing that, so that's good. A thorn that I have will probably be not being able to see my grandparents. I miss them a lot. I mean, we have FaceTime, stuff like that, but just physically being in their presence, I miss that, so that's a thorn that I have.